Good evening. We're back on Virtual Pool 4. We're here for Friday night 9-ball, and we're going to be going all the way tonight. I've still got a few days left. My last holiday before Christmas, and I don't think we've got a full house tonight. The last time I counted there was 12 in. Let's have a check. In fact, the bracket's now gone up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Well, we're just too short of the full 16. So the bracket's up. Friday night 9-ball, race to 7 on the winner's side, race to 4 on the one loss side. It's a handicap tournament. It's Moneyball handicap. And what is it again? It's winner breaks. Try to remember the rules of this again. I think that's about it. And we're waiting on the handicap showing they've still to appear. But we have Houdini playing Simanx, Supermalt playing John Boo, Larry has a bye, Popman is playing Bobby Barris, Keki's Use is playing Snakes, Stefan playing Spectre Dawn, Whirlwind Walter has a bye, and Sergaresh is playing what the hell does that say? Secret Tolga. And a couple of names there I've never heard of before. But the rooms are up, and I think we should have a good match here between Stefan and Spectre Dawn. Now the question is Stefan here? Because I haven't seen him. Oh, there he is. And oh, it's Stefan that's here. It's Spectre Dawn that isn't here. I don't see him. Well, that could be a quick match. Oh, there he is. He's in the lobby now. So that's the match we're going to look at. I would think that Stefan's going to be getting a reasonable handicap. And hopefully we can get in the room and the game doesn't die. Right, so we're lagging off for the break. I'm going to change the cloth colour in a second or two. I don't know who's who. Looks like the one nearest us has won the lag. And that's Stefan. And Stefan is player 1 and he's getting 7 and out, which is a generous handicap. And he can make the most of that. Right, let's just get this this cloth changed to blue. Now we are live streaming. We should be on 5 different channels now. We've got YouTube, we've got Twitch, we have Facebook, Mixer, and the last one that was added was Smashcast. Although having said that, I've been on Smashcast, I've been onto my channel and I can't find any of the last streams that I've done, so I don't know how the hell it works. But anyway, it's either working or it isn't working, but YouTube and Twitch should definitely be working, as should Facebook. Oh, I need to just check my little doodle and check that's okay. That's fine. So all these balls are there. You're just going to have to get this cue ball out and around for the 6 ball. He's gone back the way, and he's almost gone too far, but he can still cut it in, but he's going to have to either go all around the table again or just leave a long pot on this 7. Unless he can get this thin enough and come back across the table, but the cue ball wants to come down to this bottom right hand corner here. He's hitting it soft. And he had no guarantee he knew where that was going when he played that shot, but he's landed perfect in the 7. And a little draw off the left rail, back over to the right. And it's going to be first rack to Spectre Dawn, and this is where Stefan has got to take whatever chances he gets if he's going to stay in this match. He's got a generous handicap, but he's playing a guy who isn't going to give him much. So Spectre Dawn breaks off in rack 2, and the break is dry, and there's no shot for Stefan other than the push out. Now this push out here, he could be in trouble. If Spectre Dawn can get the right connection on this one ball, Stefan could be locked out. Well, he's brushed it out past the 4 ball, so it's an easy hit for Stefan. He could have been in a lot more trouble. Now that 7 ball is awkward. And this time Stefan gets a good break running into that 9 ball, and that's got Spectre Dawn more or less covered in the 1. You can just see an edge of it. Now is he going to scratch? Well, here's Stefan's chance. All the balls in the open, and he just needs to get to that 7 ball. Just a gentle pot on this 2 would suffice. Leave him on the 3 into the middle. Now, does he take the risk and try and find a gap between the 5 and the 8, or does he try and get out to the left? Well, he's going out to the left. That was the safest area to get to. Opens up the pocket. Cannot afford to waste this opportunity here. Now he's a bit straight on this 6. Well, he'd probably be easier taking it long into the bottom corner there, or the top left hand corner as we look, and coming out for the 7. Well, he's totally made a hash of that, and that's the type of thing that Stefan needs to just get rid of altogether if he's going to do anything in this match. He should have taken it long. Again, it was a percentage shot to get the cue ball out into the table and get on that 7, and his chance is gone. And those type of chances may well be few and far between, and that's one that he's thrown away. A wasted effort on that 6 ball, and it's cost him. Did all the hard work, but he gets no prizes for that effort. It's 2-0 to Spectre Dawn. So we're into rack number 3. Spectre Dawn breaks off. This time it's a dry break, and all the balls once again are spread pretty well. And that needs to slow up, or he's going to be hooked on the 2. Well, he's going to have to jump his way out of this one. It's another chance for Stefan. Well, he's not even risking the jump shot, and he's just giving it away with that kick. Didn't get any luck on it. I don't know, I'm just getting the feeling that Stefan doesn't think he's got much of a chance in this match, and is he giving it his best effort with the attempts that he's had so far? I don't think he's brimming with confidence. And there's the miss again by Spectre Dawn, and it is another chance. Well, I have to say it's not going to be quite as clear-cut chance this for Stefan. The 5 ball is a problem, and I think he's straight on this 4 as well into the middle. He's got a slight angle, and he's going to be blocked out. If it keeps going, he's got no shot, and I think it's a blast up and down onto that 5, and hoping he maybe flukes the 8 from it. Well, he's hit the 5. It won't cut to the middle because it's gone beyond the pocket, and it won't go past the 8. So Stefan's got a wee bit of luck there. And once again, it's going to have to be the kick shot. Just amp it up and have a blast. And it's another kick, but no joy in the safety. And this is going to be 3-0. Well, Spectre Dawn's left us awkward. Cue ball's running over to the right hand side here, so it's all about pace. So he's going up and down twice. Now he can do either. He can pot this into the bottom left or cut it into the middle. If he cuts it into the middle, he should come round the right hand side of the 8 ball and out into the table like that. And then anywhere over by that left middle pocket will do for the 9 ball. You know, if I was Stefan, and there's a mistake, there's a miss, and it's gone awkward. I mean, he's got nothing easy here, but he's got to cut it into that left-hand corner pocket, give it every chance to go in, and that will be a steal for Stefan. Well, there's a bonus. That was unexpected. It should have been 3-0. And Spectre Dawn got careless. And it's back to 2-1. Stefan with a breaking rack number 4, but I don't think he's had any joy. And the 1 ball clearly will go in past the 6 ball. He might actually... Spectre Dawn might get clever here and try it off the 5. That's what he tried. I think he actually tried that to maybe use the 5 to knock the 1 in, because the 5 and the 8 and the 7 are awkward. But he left it on. Stefan hasn't got the cue ball out into the table, and he's hit that all wrong. Well, the 3 and 7 ball, they're set. And I don't know what the hell Spectre Dawn's doing at the moment, but I don't think his eye's on the table. Pushed that just to the rail, it never even got near the pocket. Again, the cue ball Well, I'm forgetting it's the 3-7 combo, so that's the rack because it's 7 and out. Good evening. First person in the chat tonight. We're going to go all the way tonight. We'll have the full tournament. No work tomorrow. And there's another bonus. A 1-7 combo. Now how a match can turn so quickly. Stefan was looking dead and buried there in those first couple of racks. And it should have been 3-0. And all of a sudden, it's 3-2 to Stefan. And with a couple of loose shots there from Spectre Dawn, I don't know what the hell he was doing, but he certainly wasn't paying any attention to VP4, and that's cost him severely. Everything was moving along very nicely, thank you very much, and all of a sudden, Stefan has knocked in 2 combos in the blink of an eye, and it's 3-2. Well, he's left that way short. Now he's either got the cut or he can go for the bank. The bank looks the best bet, but how does he get on this 5 ball? Like that. That is a very nice little shot. The only problem is he's not to 7 safe. Can he get into it? The angle isn't perfect. He's going to go to the rail from that angle if he tries the draw. I think he might even try and pinch something here. Yeah, he just tried to get clever there, but he can put Spectre Dawn in dire trouble here. Spectre Dawn be looking to kick this 7 ball in. He's only caught the thin edge of it. Now, has he got away with it? Let's have a look. I think he has. He can't see enough of that. He's going to cut that to the end rail from that angle. By the look of it, it's too thin. Now, was that a foul? Yes, it was. He tried to pinch too much. And this time, Spectre Dawn needs to get focused now. It could have been 4-2, but that 7 ball went too tight to the 9. And Spectre Dawn has his chance to square the match. So we're into rack number 7. Spectre Dawn breaking off, and this time he gets a ball in the break. The 2 ball goes in, and the 1 just squeezes past the 8. 3 ball. How does that look? Well, the 3 ball is going nowhere, sitting next to that 7. Spectre Dawn, I presume he tried to pot the 1, he's missed it. It's as if Spectre Dawn's distracted by something going on in the background. There's probably somebody annoying him because he's made a hash of 2 or 3 shots in the last couple of racks. Well, that's not a bad outcome. It's an extremely thin cut if you're going to try and knock that into the corner. But Stefan just trying to get that cue ball locked away. And that's not bad. Well, he executed a jump, but it's always the same problem. Whenever you're playing a jump shot in a tight space close to a rail, there's always that risk that the object ball or the cue ball is going to bounce off the table. And that's exactly what's happened there. Cue ball's off the table. Ball in hand to Stefan. Needs to drop down and across. If he misses that 8, he'd have been perfect. And now he's only left with the bank on the 5. But not risking it. But if you're not going to risk it, you've got to get that cue ball tight behind the 9. And that is nowhere near tight enough. And Spectre Dawn will jump that, no problem. I think Stefan just did not take his time in that shot. If he took a wee bit more time, he could have probably set it up tighter and put Spectre Dawn in trouble. Well, as it is, he's executed the jump shot. A thinnish cut in the 6. He's got to avoid the traffic at the top end of the table there. Well, he's run into the 8. And he's came out of it okay. And that was a bit sloppy there by Stefan. Playing far too quickly. He could have got that cue ball much tighter to the 9. Because if you don't do stuff like that, and you leave an open shot and an easy jump, Spectre Dawn's just going to accept it as a gift. And it's 2 in a row for Spectre Dawn, and he's back into the lead, 4 racks to 3. And I don't think he's getting much joy in the break. I think he's potted 1 ball in the break that I've seen. I think it was a 2 ball, but he's certainly had nothing really going for him. And Stefan out with a jump stick, and he's put a bit of unwanted English on that because the cue ball spun away. Didn't make the right connection on that one, but he's got a bit of good fortune. Well, there's a good place to hide up in that top left hand corner. And that's the shot. Plenty of balls guarding that top corner. Easy to get hidden behind there. But Spectre Dawn's going to jump onto the bottom rail. Gets the hit. And gets it safe. Now we might have a problem here. Stefan's cue has disappeared. And yes, we do. Stefan has gone. And we'll wait and see how long it takes him to get back in. So, we've got the Cowboy World Championships up and running at the moment. And I was going to have a look at that bracket just to go over some of the results. The unfortunate thing about Cowboy is I don't think it was ever designed in this game to be played in any more than 1 rack in a tournament, because the first round matches, or the winner's side matches, are a race to 3, and the tournament system isn't set up properly to actually give you correct match results, so you won't be able to know who won what. The numbers are all wrong on the bracket, and I don't know whether that's something that Steve will ever take any time to fix. But anyway, the Cowboy tournament started last week, and most of the first round matches have been played. There's I think a couple of there's certainly one of the second round matches has been played, and well, that's got quite a long way to go, and I've been checking in a few of the matches. I mean, I'm in it myself, and my match was played over 4 racks, and that took 2.25 hours. Mainly because I was falling asleep at the end of it. It was late at night, and I had my work in the morning. And when my opponent got it back to 2-1, and I looked at the clock, I just decided to speed up. But it took 2.25 hours, and that is not the longest match. There's been a couple of matches where I've been knocking on 3 hours, which is another reason why I haven't streamed any of it, because with the greatest of respect to some of the guys, deeper into the tournament the matches will go a bit quicker as the better quality players come through, because a lot of the time you're getting players where they're scoring, you know, a couple of shots and then getting nothing, and the same thing happens, and then it just drags on and drags on. The main reason that happens is a lot of players who play cowboy don't actually think about what they're doing, which is the same story for many games. If you don't think about what you're doing, how are you going to actually progress? It's the same criticism I've got about a lot of players that I watch. Cowboy's a game where you have to be not only aware of where the balls are going to spot, make sure you're at the right end of the table, but you've also got to think about your next shot. And this tournament is alternate shot, so it's carom and pot. So you've always got to think about laying on your next shot. If you don't do that, you're going to be all over the place and you won't be scoring anything at all. So it's a tough game. But anyway, we might have a look at that bracket later on. It's now 5-3 to Spectre Dawn, and we're into rack number 9. And this match is not over yet, provided Stefan can keep his wits about him. The problem he's got is the 6 is locked up by the 9, so it's not an open table. Yeah, I probably will, as it gets nearer the time. But as I say, I don't have a lot of interest personally myself in watching a 3-hour match where it should have taken maybe 2 hours. You know, there's only so much that people can stand watching, and I don't think many people would want to actually sit and watch a 3-hour match that should have taken 2 hours or 2.5 hours max. I mean, I play cowboy. Well, it's really I only ever play it in the mornings when the regular guys are on in the mornings on my days off. And well, race to three is not long. Not when, I mean, I play cowboy in the morning, and I play it in the 10-footer a lot of the times against what's his name, Tornado Tam, and we can rattle through a rack in 20 odd minutes, because if you're scoring, of course, you get racks where you score, then you scratch, then you score, then you scratch, but on a good day we could run a rack through in 20-25 minutes on a 10-foot table with tight pockets. And I'm using that judgment on the fact that a lot of guys, first of all, don't play cowboy, and as I mentioned, a lot of them don't think about what they're doing, and and a lot of them struggle to pick out angles. A lot of them don't like to use the rails. They just want to draw into everything if they can. So there's a lot of guys who are in the tournament who don't play it, and who are maybe lacking a wee bit, and it's just through the fact they don't play it much. I mean, I've learned a fair wee bit by playing it over the last few months, and watching and copying the guys that I'm playing. which seems to be a sort of new thing for a lot of folk. They don't seem to want to watch and learn. Yeah, it will take a long time, but as I say, that will thin out. You know, most of them are going to end up battling out between one another on the one-loss side, and then it's only a race to 2. But I certainly prefer it being a race to 3 because, you know, everybody knows who plays Cowboy, you can have a disaster in your first rack, and it still gives you a chance to get yourself back in it. A race to 2 is a bit too short for it to be a champ tournament. Anyway, I managed to survive the first round. I'm only in it for a laugh anyway. I'm only in it for a laugh, but I'll tell you something, I can be dangerous. So I can. I keep telling that to everybody to get them worried. All part of the tactics. Anyway, this match is, well, it's looking as if it's done now. Spectre Dawn has got to the hill, leading by 6 racks to 3. We're going to have a bit of tippy tapping here. And Spectre Dawn. Now that's how tight you have to get that cue ball to an object ball. Now there was an easy kick there, and he somehow managed to find a gap behind the 1, which is amazing. Well, I'll tell you where I'm a lot more comfortable. The strange thing is I'm a lot more comfortable on the 9-foot table playing Cowboy, but every day that I play Cowboy, I never play it in the 9-foot table. I play it in the 10-foot table because Tornado Tam and the guys that are on it, you know, early morning my time, maybe 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the mornings, that's all they play on, so I've got used to the 10-footer. I really struggled in the 10-footer, but I've managed to settle in on it. But the 9-footer makes it a lot easier for me in picking out angles. Well, the 10-footer is to make it more of a challenge. At first, when I first heard that Cowboy was alternate Cowboy in VP4, where it was pots and caroms, I dreaded playing it. But stuck at it and I enjoy it. I like the game. I like the game because it does allow you to be, I mean, I like to show off when I play it as well. I mean, if I see a 3 or a 4 rail shot, I would rather go for it. But certainly probably less likely to do that in a tournament. And we're missing out on these results going through. There, John Boo's won 7-2 against Super Malt. And Houdini has beaten Simac 7-2 as well. And Spectre Dawn has landed very nicely on this 5 ball, and this match will be over in a couple of minutes. Needs to leave a little angle on this 7 ball, and that is perfect because he can stun out for the 8. Doesn't want to run forward for this 8 because he can run into that 9. He just wants to stun out. Well, that is not the best of shots in the world. The angle is there to play the stun shot and stun that cue ball out to the left, further out by another 10 inches. But he's got away with it. And so, Stefan is going to have to battle on through the 1-loss side. He got himself back in it, he got himself into the lead. But a run of racks for Spectre Donna's, giving him the match by 7 racks to 3. Right, so there's been a few results have come through, and we will have a quick look and see where we are. And well, Houdini's now playing John Boo. Larry already had a bye, I think, and he's waiting on the winner of Popman and Bobby Barris. Well, that match is still going on, so we'll have a look at that. 4-1 to Popman at the moment. It's a scratch match. You know, the strange thing, Tin said that, I think he said the next tournament's going to be an 8-ball one, which to me is a bit crazy, because we had the 8-ball bar table tournament 10 months ago, or however long it was, and he wants to do another one before we've had a, and it's been 2 years now since we had the US Open 9-ball. It's been more than 2 years. There is just no proper sequence to these events. If you're going to do a tournament, you know, like a 9-ball or a 10-ball championship, then you do it once a year, every year, and you try and do it around the same time. So it seems strange that he's got plans to do another 8-ball tournament when we've not had a 9-ball one for 2 years. And there was a lot of guys, well, first of all, a lot of guys were pissed off at the fact that Tin had this poll that he had set up for players to vote. And I think most of the players voted for, I don't know what the options were, I can't remember whether it was 8-ball or 10-ball, and Cowboy was one of them. And needless to say, Cowboy wasn't winning the vote, but he scrapped the vote and decided to do Cowboy anyway. And we ended up with a full tournament, 32 players in it. The thing about the Cowboy tournament is I think it's wide open. It is honestly wide open. Anybody can win it. Potentially. I mean, there are guys who are effectively they're making up the numbers, but the cream will generally come to the top in it, and out of that lot, anybody can win it. You can't say, you know, you can't say, oh, he's playing well, he can win it. But the great thing about Cowboy is, you know, you can, and I've played many a rack where you can't get started. You get a run of 20 odd, and then you scratch, and then the next thing you know, your opponent's had 2 visits and he's on 70 odd, and it's a race to get to, you know, you're trying to race to get to 90 to get to those caroms, and your opponent's into the 90s, he's on the caroms, and then he struggles, and the next thing you know, you're back in the match. That's the great thing about Cowboy. You can be 100 points to 50 behind, and as long as you play wisely and keep that one ball safe, you can still dig your way back into a rack. You got to use your head. It won't work all the time, but there's always that chance. Well, that was a poor shot by Bobby Barris. That was a proper noob shot there, potting a ball and then just falling it straight into the pocket. And that's a gift and a half for Popman. Well, this tournament started at 8 o'clock. We're 40 minutes into the tournament, and these guys have only played 6 racks of 9-ball. Portman breaks off in rack number 7. And the 5 ball has gone. He's on the 1. All the balls are out in the open, although he's a bit straight in the 1 though. Yeah, that's exactly it. You see, that type, what you just said there, Rotor, is correct. You know, when you have an opponent in the caroms, if you end up, see, and a lot of guys make the mistake of doing that. You know, a ball's hanging over the pocket, and the first thing you do is, if it's hanging over the pocket, you leave the ball hang over the pocket, and you just mess about. Until either they make a mistake or you're at the point of no return where you have to pot the ball. Yeah, you've got to use your head. I think I played Vinces on the 10-footer the other night. I had time just before my dinner, and I went in and played him a rack, and he won the match 101-100. I had a chance to win it. I was chasing him all the way, and then I had a chance to win it, and then I can't remember whether I scratched or I missed a carom, and I think he just needed to score the 3 points to win. So it was close on the 10-footer. Oh, it's a poor one from Portman this time, and I think that's probably the story of this match. I don't think there's been very much consistency from either of these two guys. Portman's got away with it. Left it safe. This is gone straight as well, so it's either a little soft roll through to take it in the corner, or a little roll through further to take it in the middle. The right hand middle, that is. Oh dear. And Portman, again, eye completely off the ball, thinking about the 8 ball before he's potted the 7. And Bobby Barrass needs to get himself up the table here. Portman will be going for the bank, up and down. If he doesn't get it first time, he should get it second time. This is a good bank. And that will drop in nicely, but it's a cut back in the 9. And he's got to watch the pace. You've got to just pot this rather than letting the cue ball run around the table. Just pot it. It's either going to go in or it won't go in, so don't let the cue ball start running around, because you could end up getting a pot and then scratching. And that will do. So it's 6-1 now to Portman. The other thing about Cowboy is, again, it's another one of those games where a lot of the shots that you learn in Cowboy are shots that you can use in other games. The obvious advantage that a lot of players have is if they play there's not an awful lot of players do play three cushion billiards. I certainly don't, but you know, they're going to be strong favourites when you get to the carom part of the game, but sometimes they tend to struggle on the potting side of the game. So there's all different factors in Cowboy. But I'm always of the opinion that a lot of players are afraid to use the rails in Cowboy. So that, again, I call them like two-dimensional players, where they'll pop balls, let the cue ball run, and then it's a slam to try and make the carom. Whereas if they'd actually looked at the angles that they've got, you can use those rails, and a lot of players are just afraid to use them. Which is again why they'll never step up a level when they play the game. And a lot of players, as soon as you mention Cowboy to a lot of players, that's it. You've turned them off the game straight away. They're not interested. The other curious thing that I was looking at is I was looking at Wikipedia, and I was also looking at YouTube, because I was looking about, I think I googled Cowboy rules, and it seems that there's quite a lot of different versions of Cowboy, or a game called Cowboy. This one in Virtual Pool 4, you know, obviously we know how you play it. You get to 100 and then you scratch off the 1. But on one of the, I think on Wikipedia, every rule on the Cowboy description in Wikipedia describes the game exactly as it is in this game, except for the last scratch. The last scratch, it tells you that you can scratch off any ball. So not just the 1 ball, you could scratch off the 5 or the 3, and I was never aware of that one. And then on YouTube, there was a guy who'd made a video about another version of Cowboy, and that was like an 8-ball rack, you know, a pyramid or triangle of balls, 15 balls on the table, and every ball on the table, you had to scratch off them, I think. I think that was how it worked, to get a point. Or you had to hit that ball and scratch it off the cue ball or something. I can't remember. I need to watch it again. But that was an entirely different game of Cowboy than I'd ever seen. And certainly that Wikipedia description was different from what we have here. And, you know, if we had that in Virtual Pool 4, that would just make Cowboy easier. And having to scratch off, or given the choice of scratching off either of the 3 balls left in the table, rather than just the 1 ball. So Potman 6-1 up, pot the 6, come across to the left and drop that 8 ball in. Seems fairly straightforward. Well, he's just held it up. Thought he would run across, but he's okay. He can stop the cue ball, leave that 9 ball long if he wants, and if he runs through he can have it into the right middle, so he should be out here. I'll have a quick drink if I can find my bottle. Yeah, I enjoy the alternate format, definitely. Well, there we go. Potman has finally got through. He wins the match by 7 racks to 1. So, tournament is, well, after that match it should rapidly move on. Larry now has his opponent, and it's going to be Potman, and Potman is getting 6. What's he getting? He's getting 6 and out, which is a hefty handicap for him. And the question is whether he's going to get much use of it. We've got Houdini playing John Boo. Houdini's 4 racks to 2 up. We've got the Larry match starting. We've got Snakes, who is getting the 6 ball, and he's 2-1 up against Spectre Dawn. And Whirlwind Walter is 3-0 up against Sergeresh. And Sergeresh is getting the 7 ball, I think it is. Right, so what we'll do is we will have a quick look at these two guys, because I don't think I've ever seen them. But Whirlwind Walter is giving away the 7 ball to Sergeresh. Let's see where this guy's from. Belarus, according to the flag, and Whirlwind Walter's from England. Wide open table. Needs a wee bit of inside left here to come down the left hand side of the table, but I don't think he could avoid hitting that 3. So he's locked out on the 2 ball. I think he can see an edge. Maybe not. Let's have a quick look. No, he can't. Yeah, as I say, I don't think I've ever seen any of these two players. Well, it usually only takes me a few shots watching a player to get a fair judge of whether they're thinking about what they're doing. And I'm having my doubts about Sergeresh after that shot. So, Whirlwind Walter has a thin cut on the 4. Cue ball's going to be running up the table. The question is whether he can hold it. Well, he's went for the bank, trying to cheat the pocket, and he's played at a very nice pace for it to go in. And this looks like another rack in the bag here for Whirlwind Walter. It looks simple enough. Kill the cue ball. And likewise for this 7, just kill it stone dead. He can run off the rail as long as he doesn't hook himself behind a 9, but it looks to be fairly straightforward to get this rack done. Let's have a look and see what he's got. Oh, well, he's got more angle than I thought. He's going to have to run through. Well, he's left this long. And he's way off the mark, so Sergeresh has a chance to get himself on the board. And of course his extra money ball has gone. 7 ball is gone. And he's not going to be leaving himself anything too easy on this 9 either. Into a blind pocket. Either way he pots this. And in it goes. Well, he's off the mark. And the 3 ball drops into the top right, 6 ball into the middle, and it's going to be a very quick 1-9 combo here for Sergeresh. Needs to watch that cue ball. Yeah, that was always a danger, running towards that corner pocket, but he's got away with it. And it's very quickly back to just a deficit of 2. Although he's come up dry with his break, and he's left a shot on for Walter here. Now I think it might be a bit tight to get that into the middle pocket. Yes, it is. Can only see half a pocket there. It would go in off the jaw at that angle, but it's a lot easier to actually pot that long. Yeah, he's trying to get this into this bottom right hand corner. And he's played it well. He's just running a wee bit further across that 3 than he would ideally want. He would have wanted that a bit straighter in. Now he's got the angle to run around the corner, out from behind the 4. Just run this plain ball while he's drawn it across. It would have ran around plain ball. This is a wee bit awkward just because he's straight on this 5. And when you're straight, you can only ever go forward or back. So he's just killed it to leave it pretty straight in the 6. Just a nice angle on it though, to get onto the 7. He wants to finish with a little angle if he can on this 8. And that will do nicely. Just stun it into the corner and drop onto that 9 in the same pocket. He's going a wee bit behind it. Well, that was fairly confident. Whirlwind Walter opens up the gap to 3 again, leading by 5 racks to 2. Thought that 9 ball was going to be hanging over that corner again. But the break is dry. Now that 3 ball clearly goes in there. It's getting on it that's the problem. And he's played that well. That was a very nicely controlled shot to hold for the 3. Now, are we going to see Sergaresh? Well, having said that, commentator's curse. He's blown the 4 ball. Left it awkward for Walter though. And that's even more awkward. No shot in the 5. He can try and blast this in really thin if he can. Or he can try and punch it around the table and leave that cue ball behind the 6. I don't even know whether he can do that. He's going to be in trouble here now. He's given Walter the escape route and just leave that 5 ball tucked behind the 6. And if he can get in behind the 8, that'll make it even more difficult. Because, well, maybe not. Now that I look at it, I'm looking at the gap there. No, the gap's plenty of room. Just needs to get lucky, and he has. Left it safe. Oh dear, rail not hit. Well, that's maybe not worked out as good. I wonder if Whirlwind Walter's looking at the HUD. I don't think he is. I don't think he is. He's got ball in hand but doesn't know it. Yeah, not paying attention. And there's the result through from Houdini. He's beaten John Boot 7 racks to 4, and that's what happens there if you're not focusing on what's going on round about you. He's missed a golden chance there with ball in hand. And Sergaresh, quite rightly, keeping his mouth shut. It's not up to you to tell your opponent he's got ball in hand. It's up to your opponent to be aware of the situation and what's happening. Oh dear. Well, now what does Sergaresh do? He's got a possible 5-9 combo. It's not dead set, but in it goes. And so Whirlwind Walter had ball in hand and didn't know it, and he's eventually lost the rack anyway. And it's back to 5-3. And I think the 9's gone down, has it? Or is it my eyes? It's my eyes. Dry break it is. No shot for Walter. Just looking to play the push out. Now Sergaresh can get this thin. He can just tuck it along the rail. Well, he's reverse banking it, but I don't think it's got the legs. Now, what's he going to do to get on this 3 ball? He's going to have to punch that 2 ball in at a tight angle. And that 7 ball is just on the point of that pocket, so it's not a gimme for a combo. He wants to try and force this through. He's going to have to punch that 2 in firm to get the cue ball moving. And then seem determined to want to draw to get down there. Probably easier to follow it through. But anyway, Sergaresh is going to have another combo here, and it's going to be the 3-7. And it's now back to within 1. So that's 2 quick combos and 2 successive racks have got Sergaresh back into this match. Once again, he's broke off dry. Now remember, on the push out, if you don't like where your opponent's pushed out to, you can pass it back to them. But Sergaresh has played not a bad safety there. It has come off the rail slightly. The question is whether Whirlwind Walter fancies a very thin cut. And the answer to that is yes, he does. And if the cue ball had run further up, he would have had a half decent shot in this too. He's still got a very thin cut. Is that going to get there? Yes, it is. It's just got the legs this time. And there's a result through from the one loss side. And Simanx has won the final rack decider against Super Malt. Whirlwind Walter's got no shot in the 3. He can cut it towards the 4 ball if he wants to try a far-fetched combo. but he's trying to hide it, and that is the much better thought out shot. Why take the risk when you've got a much better chance with a decent safety? Sergaresh has kicked. Well, the 3 ball is on. No need to worry about position for the 4. It's hanging over the pocket. And all the rest of the balls are all in the open. Now, what have we got here at the top end? That 5 ball is now locked up with the 9. It's not set as a combo. And so now Walter's got problems. Now, can he pinch an angle here and try and get that cue ball around the table and maybe try and get into them? No, just decided in the big draw. Well, it's too close, I think, to make the combo to cut that 5 that way. It's really too close. It's too tight. So he's just looking to hide it. And that will do. Oh, now. Well, the 8 ball has come to the rescue. And this is a crucial rack in this match. Sergaresh just needs to get that 7 ball if he can. Walter has a possible combo here that again he's going to have to make. And he's picked it out. Where's the 5 ball going though? Well, I think it just goes past. Oh, there's plenty of room when you look at it from that side. Well, he should be home and dry here. He just needs to come back off that 6. Draw back off it. Stun out onto the middle of the table if he can. That will do. And he's got a nice little angle. Again, a little soft draw if he wants off this 7. And that is perfect. So it's a roll in on the 9 that will open the gap again for Whirlwind Walter. And he just needs one more to send Sergaresh over to that 1 loss side. Into rack number 11. There's something went in at the top left hand corner. I didn't catch what it was. It was the 8 ball. No shot in the 1, but he can hide this cue ball. There's a danger of a scratch here, but he can run the cue ball up towards that 7 and try and tuck it somewhere near the 6. That's not bad at all. If he'd got that thin, there was always a danger of scratching off that 7 ball, but he's got the full ball snooker, but there's a big enough gap. And Sergaresh, like myself, not very good at the jumping. So ball in hand for Whirlwind Walter. Now how does he get the cue ball out for a shot in the 2? Can he try and draw out and play the combo from the 2 onto the 9, I think? Or can he avoid moving the 9? That's the question. Yeah, that was always a problem. He was too tight. And he scratched, and it's a gift for Sergaresh for 5 racks all. Well, there's the craziest shot of the night we've just witnessed there. No, it isn't 5 racks all, it's 6-5 to Whirlwind Walter. Pay attention. Well, that was certainly the biggest gift of the night. Whirlwind Walter getting into the Christmas spirit early. A nice little present for Sergaresh. And Spectre Dawn. Well, Spectre Dawn, when we checked the bracket, was 2 racks to 1 down against Snakes. And that was all that Snakes won, because Sergaresh... sorry, not Sergaresh. Spectre Dawn has won 6 in a row to win the match 7 racks to 2. Now Walter has to find a gap, and that's either that gap there between the 6 and the 8, or the gap there between the 6 and the 7 to get on this 3 ball. And he's found the first one. Now there's plenty of room to get on this 5. Anywhere over on that left hand side. And he's got the angle on the 4 that'll allow him to do it. He just wants to, you want to be digging into this a wee bit. He doesn't want to just be running forward towards the 9 ball. He wants to stun this in. And that is okay. So can Walter finish this match off? A little roll through here might do the trick. Take that 6 into the right middle. No, he's just not gone far enough. Needed a wee bit more spin on it just to help it through. And now he's potting this into a blind pocket again, into that middle. I just pointed it to the knuckle. Now, has he escaped? Yes, he has, but the cross bank is on here for Sergaresh. And this is an all or nothing shot. Oh, the double kiss has blown it. I think that was going in. And that might be his last shot in this match. That was unlucky. It looked like the cross bank was on. The 6 ball was travelling in the right direction towards that corner pocket until it collided with the cue ball again. Oh dear. Well, Walter is getting really generous. It's going to be another gift here for Sergaresh, and all of a sudden we're into a final rack decider. Now, what's Sergaresh doing looking at the 8 ball? You just want to roll the 7 in. You've got that 7 ball as your extra money ball. Or was he? I think he was looking at the 8 to line up on it, but anyway, final rack decider. Cue ball has scratched. And ball in hand for Whirlwind Walter again. And all the balls are wide open. And what's he looking to do here? Is that 1 ball going to get? Well, Whirlwind Walter's looking at a 1-9 combo. Was that the right shot to be taken on? Maybe it was, seen as the 1 ball's now gone safe. But it's always a sign that your opponent isn't that confident they can run out the table when all the balls are sitting there wide open. And another result come through. This time it's from the one lost side, and that Secretolga has beaten John Boo by 4 racks to 0. He's probably getting a fairly hefty handicap, I'd imagine, if he's just a newbie to the tournaments. Well, that's far too tight to be dropping into the middle pocket, I think. Now that will do. Half decent safety. Easy enough to kick at it. And Walter, I think, has returned a favour here. I don't think Sir Gresh can see that one. But he gets the kick. And the one ball has gone safe. And that's not a bad result. Sir Gresh trying to cut in the one. It was not easy. But again, we're in a situation now where Walter's at the table, all the balls in the open. We've got 3 balls on or close to the rails though. Well, the 8 ball is now fairly tight onto that side rail. Can he run out? And he's just gone back far enough. That's not bad. He's got an angle to let the cue ball run around the table. As long as he gets somewhere in the open, he should have a shot on the 5. Needs to avoid hitting things though. And he needs to come by that 9. Oh dear. Now, is he going to try the thin cut into this bottom right? Well, hard to say what he actually tried here, whether he tried to play the snooker behind a 7, but he certainly didn't get enough pace in it to get the pot. And Sir Gresh, well, he's going to have a shot at the 6, and remember he only needs to get the 6 and the 7 to win this match. And it's not a good angle in the 6. Well, it's not gone safe. And surely this time Walter will take his chance. But it's all going to hinge on where he leaves this cue ball after he pots the 7, assuming he gets the 6, because he doesn't want to leave himself too much of an angle on this 8 ball. But he needs something to get a shot onto the 9, so it isn't over yet. It should be over. Well, with this shot, just you keep it as simple as anything. You just roll it through and let the cue ball roll through 2 or 3 inches, and you've got a simple roll in the 9 into the left middle. And so Whirlwind Walter is going to make it through, but it's gone all the way. It's 7 racks to 6. And Sergresh moves over to the 1-loss side. So the tournament's marching on rapidly. And, well, let's have a look at what's happening in the Potman Larry match. Potman is getting 6 and out, which is a very generous handicap. And Potman, potting a 7, has got it back all square, 4 racks all in this race to 7. And I think the break is dry. And well, Larry can see enough of that to pot the 1, no problem. And Larry should be out here. 2 balls there, 3 balls over the middle pocket. Admittedly, the problem with that is the 6 balls in the way, but Larry's going to have to just drop this 2 in. I don't even know whether he can, because that if he gets any angle on this 3 ball, he's got a danger of scratching into the middle pocket. So this isn't quite as clear cut as it first looks. Oh, well, Larry's hung up the 2, but look at where the cue balls ended up. He would have had a tiny edge of that 3 just to drop it in. He could have just dropped that in. But he's hung the 2. And Potman, well, I wonder if Potman will try and get the cue ball down this bottom end of the table. He's dead straight. He can only draw. And he's had no joy because he's drawn straight into the 9 ball. And now, well, any part of that 3 ball he hits from that side, he's going to scratch. So he's just going to try and kick at it. Kick and hope. I don't like the angle he's picking there, though. Alright. Just hit the edge of it. And he's got away with it. Well, Larry's got a lifeline. The 6 and what looks to be the 4 ball are locked up. So there's no harm in just doing what he did, because he didn't really have any other option there, Larry. The problems lie ahead for whoever pots the 3 in trying to do something with the 4. Now, is that 4-6 a combo, though, into that corner? No, it isn't. Well, Potman's presumably played a cross bank. Now, has he got an angle on this 4 to actually cut it in? And I don't know whether he can see enough of that. Can he? Can he catch enough of that to actually get it thick enough to pot it? I don't... he doesn't think he can. He's looking to kick at it, I think. Oh, the 6 ball might come to the rescue. Has it? No, it hasn't. So Larry's got the chance now to go back into the lead. Well, the simple shot's just to drop into that 6 and take it into the left middle past the 7. He could stun across for the 6 into the same pocket as the 5, Well, he's gone round the corner, but he needs to get there. Excuse me. And he's almost got there. Well, the 8 long into the top left or into the middle, whichever he's happy with. So Larry's going to get 1 in front. Well, Popman's not going to get any better help than getting 6 and out against Larry to get some sort of result in this match. But Larry breaks off in rack number 10. 6 ball goes in, top left. And he's landed a thin cut in the 1 to get himself started. Now, provided he doesn't collide with anything here, this cue ball should be back up into the middle of the table for a shot on that too. Well, he's managed to cut it to and take the cue ball a little spin to the side. Really, I thought he had to hit it thinner than that, and the cue ball be running up and down the table. That's ended up much better than I thought it would. Yeah, Larry should be out here. Absolutely no reason why not. Well, it's just going to be the long 9, I think, into this bottom left-hand corner. Just a roll through here. I don't think it's going to be a roll through. It looks as if he's going to run this around the table. Yeah, it is a little run through. So this for 6-4. Well, Larry's broke, but it is a dry break, and again a wide open table for Popman. I mean, the path to the 3 ball is simple. You pot the 1, stun in behind the 2, 2 into the left middle, drop down onto the 3. 4's at the top end of the table though, to the left of the 9 ball. So the one worry here would be again avoiding traffic with the cue ball to get it back up the table for a shot in a 4. Well, he's gone a bit straight on this 3. There is a slight angle, but you want to... No, he's got enough angles. He just needs to stun it in and get the cue ball up the table, but he just has to get lucky and avoid hooking himself behind one of those balls. Well, I think he's played that far too delicate. He's still got a shot, but he's well away from a comfortable potting angle here on this 4. And needs to watch the pace on the cue ball to have a shot in a 5. And that's not bad. That will do. So just the 5, the 6. And that will take him back to within 1. And Potman will be breaking in rack number 12. And that cue ball's running nicely. He's potted the 3 and the 4 off the break. He's got a shot in the 1. Now, how does this 2 ball look? Well, he's going to be on the 2 if he just stuns the 1 in. Or even if he just rolls it in and let the cue ball... Well, I don't know why he tried to do anything there. He didn't have to do that. That was not the shot to play. He was on that 2 ball every day of the week if he just let the cue ball run through. Well, to counteract that though, he's played a decent safety, but it was not the shot to play there, Potman. You had the 2 ball every day. You were on the 2. And Larry's played the kick shot, and look at where the 9's gone. And Potman, well, he's got a thin cut in the 2. And this cue ball might be going up towards that 6 and 9. He's way off the mark. Way off it there. And so Larry is going to seal the deal here. And really, the only thing that can be a problem here is if Larry hooks himself behind that 7 ball in trying to get on this 5. It really looks like the only problem I can see. And he's well away from that. So just a drop in to the middle pocket and try and get himself as straight as he can on the 6. And it'll be the 6-9 for the match. Yeah, you've got to cut this into the middle. And that will do. So Larry is going to go through by 7 racks to 5, and Potman joins his compatriots on the 1 loss side. Right. Now we have Houdini already waiting there for Larry. And meanwhile, we've got Spectre Dawn playing Whirlwind Walter. And Whirlwind Walter is getting what looks like the 5 ball, and that looks a fairly generous handicap there as well. So, and Larry is going to be given 6 and out. Again, 2 matches in a row, and this time it's going to be against Houdini. Now, the 1 loss side, well, there's a few matches there are just waiting on results coming through, but we're going to join this match with Spectre Dawn and Whirlwind Walter and see if Walter can get use of this extra money ball, this 5 ball. And at the moment, Spectre Dawn is leading by 2 racks to 1. Whirlwind Walter's got ball in hand. Now, why is he leaving himself dead straight on the 2? Why is he not giving himself an angle? See, when you do that, all you're doing is leaving yourself miles away from the next ball. You've got to leave yourself an angle to get the cue ball up the table. But it should still be a fairly straightforward roll in the 3. The only problem now is that the 6 ball is locked up. But this time he doesn't need the 6. He only needs to get that 4 and then the 5. And he hasn't made that easy either, unless he wants to just try and kill the cue ball and leave this 5 into the bottom left. Or is he going to try and get out? He's not got an awful lot of angle to work with here. Yeah, he's killed it, and that's the simplest shot. Straight in 5 for 2 racks all. Well, if there's anybody watching the stream, they're certainly not very talkative. I haven't seen any chat for the past hour. Or everybody's fallen asleep. Well, Spectre Dawn has made the unforced error again. And, well, he's going to have to cut them out because he's given ball in hand to Walter. And, well, the problem's the 3 ball. And he's going to have to judge the pace in this shot fairly well to just give himself the shot down the rail on this 3. Well, he's obviously thinking a different way of doing it than I was. He's leaving himself a 3-5 combo. So this to take the lead. And he's hung it up. And the other thing now is Spectre Dawn is going to get rid of Whirlwind Walter's extra money ball. Oh dear. Well, it's going to be a kick in here for Spectre Dawn. And I don't think he can get it off the top rail either. And the kick in from the side rail is not a gimme because the 3 ball is not hanging. It's just towards the point, and he's missed it completely. But the lifeline for Spectre Dawn is that Whirlwind Walter's extra money ball has gone. So if he's going to win this rack, he's going to have to do it the hard way and run the table. And his immediate problem is coming back to get on this 4. Because it's only going to go into the middle pockets. That needs to bounce. Well, if the cue ball runs into the 8, he's going to have no shot in the 6. He has to avoid hitting the 8 ball here. Well, he's avoided that. And he still ended up with no shot other than the bank for that 6 ball. It's all or nothing on the 6. And Sergaresh marches on. He has beaten Simanx by 4 racks to 2 on the 1 loss side. And Whirlwind Walter's way off the mark with the bank. And he's left it on. Well, he's left Spectre Dawn a shot on the 6. And that was a good shot. Judged the pace nicely. Looking straight down the barrel on this 7. And a straight roll in on the 8. Well, I think he might actually stun it in, or he could run through, whichever he's comfortable with. Just stun it in. So Walter had his chance, but he couldn't get good on the 6 ball. And he left it on for Spectre Dawn, and he just took the invitation, cleared up to win the rack, and the 4-ball just dropping into the left middle, but no shot for Spectre Dawn. Well, if he plays down to the bottom end here with this push out, he's went for a kick. Well, it would have been handy if he'd got rid of that 5-ball, but it's still fairly adjacent to that top right hand corner, so Spectre Dawn needs to be careful. Be careful he doesn't leave anything for Walter to knock onto that 5-ball. Now, Walter on the 2-ball, 3 in the top rail, and out for the 5 to tie the match at 3 racks all. It looks simple enough to me. So we're going to be all square again. Five ball goes in on the break. It's going to get respotted. We're playing spot money. Any of the money balls go in the break, they come back up. But Walter remains at the table and he's on the 1 and he's got a shot in the 2. He'll have a shot in the 3 and the 4 is available as well. Well, he's left that a bit awkward. He's going to be running away over to the left hand side here now. Now he has to let this cue ball run if he wants to get out and back over to the right for a shot in the 3. Got to be confident enough to play the shot. And he's hung it. And he had the pace in it, but he ran into the 9. And I think he's covered the 2. Spectre Dawn looking to spin around the 9 and just clip that 2. And he's got it. And what's more, he's landed absolutely plumb perfect on the 3, just to drop in behind the 4. Couldn't have landed any better. And he's got the angle to get across to the right for the 5-ball. Well, anything but dead straight. And he's dead straight. So it's just going to be the draw. And that's pretty good. So back into the lead for Spectre Dawn. And breaking off in rack number 8. Dry break by the look of it. And no shot on the 1. for Whirlwind Walter, but he's got a good opportunity here for a safety here if he can he clip that one and just skim past the 9. He actually wants to send this one to the rail and just off the rail. Now, did he clip the 1? Yes, he did, and that is not bad at all, but it's an easy kick between the 9 and what looks like the 4 ball. And Spectre Dawn he's got cover, but once again an easy kick. You've just got to kick and hope though. If he can hit it full in the face. Oh, he's blasted at it. Now he needs to get lucky. And that is not bad. That did everything but go in. Let's have a quick look and see what's happening in the Larry match. And Houdini, who's getting 6 and out. Now, what's the score there? I can't see that. Well, Houdini's up by 4 racks to 2. So Larry's got some work to do. Spectre Dawn. Oh, he actually played a pretty good shot there. He was doing his best just to hold in behind that 3. And, well, he pretty much got there, although it would have been a tough 3 ball down the rail. But he's hung the 2. And Walter's got the same problem. And his pace is perfect. He couldn't have played that any better if he'd put that ball there with his hands. Now he's got to try and get this 3 ball to hug the rail. And at the same time get the cue ball out for that 4 ball into the right middle. Got to punch it down the rail. And in it goes. Used all of the pocket, but he's got there. And now it's a simple enough drop through off the 4. He might run into the 8, but he should still have a cut in the 5. Can he just skim past the 8? Yes, he just clipped it. It needs to slow up. And he needs to watch this cue ball, that it doesn't run into this bottom left hand corner. And he's avoided that. But where's the cue ball going? Oh dear. That's a disaster. Well, if he wasn't going to scratch the corner, it's went around the angles and straight into the right middle pocket, and all of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, Whirlwind Walter's chance is gone. Well, this is a little bit awkward. Cut back in the 8. Very easy to hangs up. And it goes clean. Now, is he going to get there with this cue ball? Well, it could have done with another 6 or 7 inches. But in goes, excuse me, I've got the hiccups. In goes the 9. And Spectre Dawn has now got a 2 rack cushion. 5 racks to 3. I think a couple of balls have gone in. We've lost the 4 ball and the 7, and he's got no shot in the 1. Now he could cut the 1 towards the 2, or he could try and hide behind the balls at this bottom end, but he's actually found a gap. And Whirlwind Walters got the same option here, although that 5 ball might be in the way, to try and get this cue ball down to the bottom end of the table. I don't think that's quite on. You'd have to get that one very thin, and he's went for the bank, and in it goes. Well, Walter's going to have to pull out another good one here in this too, but the cue ball is more important because it's going to be running up and down the table here if he's going to get the pace in it. And he needs a nice kiss on this. And wouldn't you know it, he's hit it solid in the face. And he's got no shot. Well, he could just punch it up the table. Try and get it down to the bottom. I don't know what he's tried there, but I think he got a double kiss. And it's going to sit on for Spectre Dawn with a nice angle to come down the table for the 5. Now, the only difference there was like half an inch. If Walter had got half a kiss onto that 3 ball, he'd have been lying on it. And he'd have been down the table here for the 5. Spectre Dawn is on the hill, rolling the 9 for a 6-3 lead and breaking off in rack number 10 for the match. No joy. Walter's got a shot in the 1, but it's going to be a hard push to have any half decent shot in this 2 ball. Yeah. Now, what does Spectre Dawn do? He can play the bank, the reverse bank into this, either of the 2 bottom corner pockets as we look. If he doesn't get it the first time around, he can get it when it comes back across. He can actually go for the bank into the right middle as well. And he's gone for the middle. He's missed it. And there is a shot here. Once again, Walter's got the same problem. The angle he's got, the cue ball's running away, so he's trying to draw this 2 in to hold the cue ball, and that is a pretty good shot. Now, he just needs to get dropped right in behind that 5. And it's off the rail, so there's no way that he should be. I forgot about the 4 ball. Oh, it needs to just hit it full in the face, and that's okay. Don't hit the middle knuckle. And he's back within 2. Well, that's another one. No joy in the break, I don't think. 4 and 5 ball are locked up on the right hand side near the middle pocket. So Spectre Dawn is to run out from this visit. He's going to have to do something to disturb that 4 and 5 ball. And it doesn't go past it, so it's got to be moved. And he's going to have to try and do it off the 3 ball. Well, he's going to have to try and draw this right into the rail and get the spin to work. It's not ideal to do it, and he's just trying to play a snooker instead. And he's not got the snooker. Oh, a nice little kiss off the 8 ball would help nicely, and the cue ball is locked up behind the 7. And Spectre Dawn, well, in actual fact, I don't think he'll be too bothered, because as long as that 4 and 5 remain locked up, there's no immediate danger. He's missed a hit, but Walter still has the same problem. He can pot the 3, and he's going to try and draw up the table and clip that 5 if he can, and move something and get lucky. So he needs all of these factors to come into place here. Well, I don't know what he tried there. He's got no shot. He's just going to try and play the snooker. Well, that's going to be kicked in. Spectre Dawn picking his line on that left side rail. Very strong likelihood it's going in. Yeah. And that was always asking for trouble to play that snooker. And I think, yeah, he can pot this. There's no risk of scratching. And Walter, I think, has played his last shot in this match. And the only way this can go wrong is getting from the 7 onto the 8. So this is the one that's going to decide the match. Oh, he's just going to brush this past the 9. And he's sent it to the jaw. And he's got lucky. And that was a really good bit of good fortune there for Spectre Dawn, because he could have left that wide open. And Walter's got no shot. He's went for the old blast. Where's the 9 going? Is it going to come to the rescue? No, it isn't. Well, that definitely is Walter's last shot. And Snakes has beaten Sergeresh in a final rack decider on the 1-loss side. He wins 4 racks to 3. And meanwhile, Spectre Dawn just finishing off the match. And he beats Whirlwind Walter by 7 racks to 4. Right. Let's see where we are now. Well, Houdini. What's that? Larry 6-5 up against Houdini. And we'll nip in to see the end of that match if we can catch the end of it. Larry at the table. And the 3 balls locked up against the 6. And again, I think this is too tight to make a combo. He's going to have to try and clip that off the rail. In fact, what am I talking about? The one ball's still on the table. I thought he was looking at the 3. Well, he is looking at the 3-6, but it's nowhere near set as a combo. And Houdini, who's player 1, is getting 6 and out. And Larry has nudged in the 8. Now what does he do? Well, knowing Larry, it's all out for the thin cut in the 1. He gets it, but he collides with the 4 ball, and he's got no shot. But once again, Larry has that lifeline with the 3 and 6 been locked up. So he's quite happy to just leave this cue ball at distance, trying to tuck behind the 9, and that's an excellent shot. Houdini is going to have to do the great escape with the jump stick. And there's a big enough gap for the jump. He's got to get the cue ball tighter than that to prevent the player from using the jump cue. And that's well played. But like I said, Larry's always got this 3-6 to fall back on as a rescue shot here. Houdini has no shot. Now Larry has got his chance. Needs to run these balls for the match. And in fact, if Larry wins this, it will take Larry through once again. It seems to happen about every week, but it's going to be the hot seat match. To see who gets to the final between Larry and Spectre Dawn. That's the match we'll have coming up next, provided Larry can get the job done here, which seems inevitable. And all he'll be doing is just dropping in the 7 and potting that 9 in the top right. So Larry wins the match by 7 racks to 5. Houdini still has a second chance on the 1 loss side. So now we have the big match of the tournament coming up. The 2 hot favourites are going to be going head to head in a minute or 2, and I'll have a quick drink. I'll just open my next bottle of water. And the room has gone up. And we'll get ourselves in. We're in before the players. And this may well be a scratch match between the 2 of these guys. I don't think there's an awful lot between them in the ratings. I'll be surprised if there's any handicap in it. And Larry may well be taking a little bathroom break or something before he joins the room. Players have got 5 minutes to join the room once it goes up. And if one or either of them fail to join the room, then it times out and the other player wins. Now, well, Larry is the one nearest us. I know his cue. And Spectre Dawn on the left hand side, the furthest away. Both players lagging for the break. And it looks as if Larry has got it. And it is a scratch match. There's no handicap. Larry breaking off in rack number 1. And of course, with the quality of these 2 players, we demand some decent 9-ball. Well, there's a lock-up with a 4 and the 8-ball. I don't know whether they're set. Well, they're pretty much set. It's going slightly to the jaw, but easy enough to make that combo. Just got to make sure that 4-ball doesn't escape. Yeah, 4-ball has been killed stone dead. And so Larry has got a gilt-edged chance here to get off and running. Well, there we go. It's all so simple when the balls are there to be picked off. So Larry is off the mark in a comfortable first rack. But this time, with the break, it is dry. And Larry could be in trouble in a second or two here. Spectre Dawn trying to tuck that cue ball. Well, not a very well played safety shot, because he should have been tucked in behind that 8 at least. And Larry can see the edge of the 1. But Larry's played an even poorer shot. He's just nudged the 1 onto the rail, kicked the 7 out of the way, and of course the 7-ball just holds the 1 there in place for Spectre Dawn. Now, does that 2-ball go past the 9? Well, he's left it. It's tough though. Cut into the blind pocket at the bottom end of the table is not easy. In fact, he did the wise thing. Much easier again to play the half-decent safety than it is to go for a wild shot in the 2. And Larry out with the rescue stick, the jump cue. And has he got lucky? And the answer to that is yes, not bad at all. Spectre Dawn can jump to catch the edge of the 2, or he can try and kick it, which he's done. And it's not bad, because although there's a pot in the 2, it is by no means anywhere near easy to get any shot on this 3. Where it's sitting, it's blocked off by the 7 into the top left, and it's awkward where it is near that 9-ball. Well, Spectre Dawn has been given an easy starter and has to respond by running the table. And the important shot is coming up next, getting from the 5 onto the 6. Well, the 6 goes into either pocket, but you've got to get the cue ball down there. And that was very well played. That is perfect. Nice little angle in the 6. He can stun the 6 in, run over to the left hand side for a straight in 7 if he can. Well, he's not got there. he's left it awkward. He needed to be up the table by another 3 or 4 inches for comfort here. It's just on that awkward angle. He should still have the pot in the 8. It's all about the 7. And where's the cue ball? He's okay. So, a couple of poor shots there in that rack have cost Larry. Spectre on, going to square the match at 1 rack all. Right, I think what we'll do, while this match is just in its early stages, we will go to the home page. If we can get this. This just seems to run very slow for me, this internal browser. Takes an age to get there. We'll have a look at the bracket in this Cowboy Virtual World Championships. I think that's it there. So the tournament started last week, and if we look, and of course, as I said earlier, it's a race to 3 in the winner's side, but the scores don't show up correctly on this bracket. But we can see Jose McEwen won his first match. I think he won that 3 racks to 2, if I remember. Now Bill, I don't know what happened to Mr. Bill, but he ended up forfeiting to Baker Maker, who's through to play Jose. There's a young chap there, a young good-looking guy called Nineball.com, whose last tournament was 9 years ago. He won his first round match, and he's through to play X Games, who's one of my regular Cowboy players that I play in the morning, or that he plays in the morning, whoever Nineball.com is. And we have Hustling Howie is set to play Amy, whoever Amy is. I've never heard of her. I assume Amy is a female, but you never know in this game. They're set to play in a couple of days' time. Romario, who doesn't get on very often, well, they've still to arrange their match and are running out of time. Larry won his first match against John Boo, and Larry is through to play Acero, who's from Japan, and Acero, I think, is a fairly good all-round player, and that'll be a tough match for Larry, and that's set for a few days' time as well. And Wanwa, or Fan Fan as he likes to be known, he beat Cheeky Chico, and he's through to round 2. And Mr. Strokum, who was he playing? Well, Semi-Pro got himself disqualified. I don't know why. I don't know the reason behind it at all. I haven't seen him. But anyway, Mr. Strokum was playing Vinces, and Vinces is marching on again. He's into round 3 to play Fan Fan, and that'll be a tough match for both of them, because both of them are experienced Cowboy players. Well, Fan Fan certainly is. Vinces, I think, just adapts to any game that he plays. So it's going to be a tough match. Zach beat Tornado Tam, I think, in a final rack decider by 3 racks to 2 in the first round, and he's also beaten Casino Jim. So Zach is through to round 3. And Real Poland Power, well, I don't know what he's doing, but he's still to arrange a match with Interchange X. I think Stubb just hopes that somebody's going to appear and then play the match, but that's not how it works. And finally, Mark Shark has got his match arranged between him and Ice Age. So those are the matches still to be played. So there's a few second round matches have been arranged, and hopefully I can get my match arranged at some point as well. Right, let's go and find our way back to this bracket. Well, that's handy. There's a result just come through. Stefan has beaten Sekretolga by 4 racks to 0. That link should take us back to the bracket, which it does. We'll just refresh that to 30 seconds and we'll go back in and see how things are going in this match. So Spectre Dawn has now got a 2 racks to 1 lead, and that's about to change. Larry with a chance to tie it up at 2 racks all. So this is the hot seat match to see who gets through to tonight's final. On the one loss side, we've got Stefan now playing Whirlwind Walter, and we've got Snakes playing Houdini. And Houdini is, what's the score? He's 3-2 up. And he's also getting the 5 ball. And Stefan and Whirlwind are about to start. So this is looking very likely a break and run here for Larry to go into the lead. So the tournament's now been on for 2¼ hours. Started at 7 PM GMT. It's now just gone 9:15. Well, the 7 ball did its best to drop in, but it's dry. Spectre Dawn with no shot. Well, that was always going to happen if Larry just caught the thin edge of the one, hung it up. Probably been easier kicking it off the rail. Well, that's a lucky break there as well for Spectre Dawn, because that could have went all wrong when that 4 ball hit the 2, but it's left it on. But he needs a bit of good fortune here though to avoid hitting the 4 and to get somewhere up near the 3. And that's a good shot. Check to cue ball just to prevent it from running into that 4 ball, and he's landed as well as he could expect on the 3, and what's more, he's got a little angle. I don't know, again, I don't know whether he can avoid that 8 ball with the angle that he's got to get himself back down the table for the 4. Yes, he's okay. So it's going to be a 6-7 combo, 7 ball hanging over the pocket. Just a little gentle one to keep the 6 ball there. Now the crucial one. Oh, I think he's underhit that. He's underhit that. And he's got no shot. Well, that's a bonus for Larry if he's going to come to the table with a shot here. It's just going to be a kick for Spectre Dawn. Now is he going to try and find a point on the rail to catch the edge of the 8? That's what he tried. Got it too thick. Now, it looks easier for me for Larry to play the bank on this 8, because the cue ball will run over to the right for a shot in the 9. But he looks as if he's lining up the thin cut. And he's trying to hold the cue ball to leave himself the shot in the 8. But it's in that sort of nasty area with that angle. Very easy to cut these to the jaw. But in it goes clean. Where's the cue ball? Oh, disaster. Whenever you have those angles, the cue ball's always going to be running because you can't avoid it. And what looked like Larry opening up the gap is now back all square. The fatal error on the 9 ball, and the cue ball running straight into that middle pocket. And it gives a gift for Spectre Dawn. There's a lot of Christmas presents been given out in this tournament tonight. Some players have been pretty generous. Well, that's the first gift that Larry's given to Spectre Dawn this Christmas time, or coming up to Christmas. And Houdini has beaten Snakes in the final rack decider on the 1-loss side. Well, Larry could try cutting the 1 down towards the 9 and 5 and bringing the cue ball across. He's trying to drop it into the middle, but he's always going to leave himself a way high cut in the 2. Yeah, just leaving himself far too much to do. No, because you're the first person that's spoken about 90 minutes. Them that were here have long gone. I've been talking to myself for the last hour and a half. Well, Larry, back at the table. Now, he's going to be able to draw off this 3 to get on the 4, but he's going to have to... Well, he's now... I don't think he's got much choice here. He's going to have to try and just run in and hold to that 5 to make a cut on it, and he's played it perfect. Oh, Rotor Monkey's still there. I think he actually woke him up, Potman. Now Larry's going to try and come back for this 6 ball, but that 9 ball might be in the way. But the cue ball's tracking nicely, and that's worked out perfect. How can you be working at the same time when you're sitting with Virtual Pool 4 running? So it looks like Larry is going to redeem himself here. Had the 9 ball at his mercy in the last rack, potted it, but left himself an awkward angle. And the cue ball was going to start running, and it ran straight into the middle pocket. And he could have been up 5-2 right now. But as it is, it's only 4-3. Something's got to go in. The 2 ball has gone. The 7 has gone into the right middle. He's lying plumb on the 1. Ah, the old VP4 running in the background. I actually gave up watching the snooker tonight to get this tournament. I should have been watching the Scottish Open snooker, but I knocked it in the head. Oh, has he still got a shot here? I think he has. He's just got enough of that 5-ball showing to just drop it in. And Larry's perfect in the 6 to drop in behind that 8-ball into the right middle. Where's the cue ball going? Oh dear. Well, I think he's okay. But he's going to be running into the 9, and he doesn't know where this is going to end up. This could push the 9 towards that top rail there, and he could have no shot. I think he's got to put a bit of power in this to make sure the 9-ball moves. Well, there's the obvious thing that was going to happen. Commentator's eye. He's pushed it towards the end rail, and he's got either the bank or the thin cut. And if he takes the thin cut, the cue ball's running again. And this time, no mistakes. Well played on the 9-ball there for Larry. And now he has his 2-rack gap. But it's come up dry again. Well, that's a good shot. That's a very good shot. Well, Spectre Dawn has to respond. Well, he's going to get no better opportunity than now. But this is a one where he has to land on that 5. Well, Bedhead was in earlier on. I think he's gone to sleep. He said hello. And then nothing else since. Is that going to go to the jaw? Yes, it is. Well, the mistake has been made. And Spectre Dawn may well have played his last shot in this rack. Provided Larry doesn't hook himself behind the 8. That's the only thing that can go wrong here. Oh dear. Well, it's catching. I think Larry couldn't believe his luck, but he's hung the 6. And Spectre Dawn, well, that is not the best of shots in the world. Because he's been given a lifeline and he's left himself in the most awkward place to try and play this 7-ball. And he's decided to play safe. So nobody wants to win this rack. Now, is Larry going to take the bait? He's going to have to make a bank if he's going to play the bank on this 7. He's going to have to pick the point in the rail to push this 7-ball to make the cross bank here. Always difficult because it wasn't what you would call it a natural bank. But he's got it in the middle of the table, so it's neither here nor there for a shot for Spectre Dawn. The favourite looks to be this bottom left-hand corner. Well, this rack has been thrown up in the air. Larry with a 2-rack lead. And Spectre Dawn having to go all out for the awkward cut. And he hasn't really got away with it. He's left a thin one And Larry, provided he doesn't collide with the 9, he should have a shot on the 8. And he has collided with the 9. And he's got no shot in the 8. And it's going to have to be, once again, either the safety or he can go for the bank. If he misses it in one pocket, he may well get it in the other. Either of those two top pockets there. Well, that did everything but go in. I thought that was sweet. But again, it's another chance for Spectre Dawn. And I don't think... Surely he's going to waste this one. He's lying pretty good in the 9. And Larry could have been home and dry in this match. And he's just fallen short of putting Spectre Dawn away. And Spectre Dawn back to within 1. And the 1 ball has gone in. And Spectre Dawn also has a sight on the 2, but look where the 3 is. That 3 ball is doing absolutely nothing up there. And it's going to be the thin edge of the 3. That seems like a plan. Thin edge of the 3, lots of spin, and get that cue ball somewhere down here out the way. Needs to get the pace in it though. Well, that's given Larry a free shot for a safety. Because that, but the one thing Spectre Dawn has got, I'll give him that, is he's got distance, and that always makes the shot more difficult from distance. But Larry's played it well, and that's an excellent one. That's got Spectre Dawn in heaps of trouble here. Can he find the gap in behind the 4 and make the angle to kick the 3 from there? Yeah. Struggling to find the angle to kick at that 3 from either side. And Larry has his reward. He's got ball in hand, so he's got what he's worked for. Now, can he take the chance? 7 ball is awkward. He might end up playing a 7-9 combo down the rail here. Unless he can get up the table and pot this 4 and disturb the 7. I think he's locked himself out here. Well, no, he hasn't. There's enough room just to spin. In fact, he might not even need to. He's just helping it in. And we're going to find out in a second or two whether Larry's going to leave the 7-9 combo, or if he's going to try and move it. He's only going to get one more chance at it. Oh dear, he's taking his eye right off the ball again, thinking about how he was getting onto that 6. What was the angle like that he had in the 6? Let's have a look. Yeah, well, he couldn't do anything. He would have had to leave the combo, the 7-9 combo. And Spectre Dawn has not played a great safety because he's left the gap, and Larry will dig out the jump stick. And now he's perfect. That little nudge in the 8 has left him perfect on the 6, but still got to deal with this 7. And he's missed the 6 again. Again, thinking about getting position on that 7. And there's the result through. Stefan has beaten Whirlwind Walter 4 racks to 2. So the one lost side is moving on. But it can't move on until there's a result in this match. And Spectre Dawn, although he has half a shot on this 6, he's just going to have to leave some sort of combo on this 7 and 9. Well, that's not ideal. That's nowhere near it. And what does he do? Well, that's dangerous. But it's okay. It was dangerous in setting up the easy combo on the 9. Now, is Larry going to try and billiard the 9 in? I think he is. He's looking to billiard off the 7 and nudge that 9 down the rail, and he's hit it to the rail. Well, Spectre Dawn is going to cut this into the middle and come off that side rail, possibly the end rail, and leave that long 8. He's just looking at the potting angle, but he's got a decent enough potting angle and plenty of angle to get the cue ball across. And Larry's chance to get this match to the hill has gone. But this 8 ball is fairly tight to the rail. But in it goes. And we are all square at 5 racks all. See, Larry's just made a few errors there that are costing him. He could have had this match done and dusted, but he's had a couple of shots there thinking in position and forgetting in the actual object ball that he's trying to pot, and it has cost him. His lead is gone, and Spectre Dawn has broke off though in rack number 11. It has come up dry, and Larry had a shot in the 1, and he's taken the opportunity to try and break the 6 and 9, but he's left himself no shot in the 2. Larry trying to just bend it around that 5, and now he's just hoping to get it safe, but it is not safe. Okay, it's not an easy pot, and it's not easy at all to actually hold anything for a shot in the 3. And the other problem at the top end is that the 4 ball doesn't go past the 6. And Stefan, not Stefan, I don't know where I got that idea from, Spectre Dawn just trying to play the snooker. And now he can use the 4 ball as a stopper, push that 2 onto the 4 and bring the cue ball down the table and get distance. Well, he hasn't done that. He's just trying to cover on the side rail, and I think he has. Well, that's going to go in. Oh no, it isn't. It's hung up. Well, even if it had gone in, Larry had only a kick or a jump escape to get to that 3, but Spectre Dawn's now left with the problems to deal with here. And again, I think he's locked himself out. He's just not getting enough pace into. That's 2 shots where he's just not getting into it to get up that rail. Well, he'll settle for that. I don't know whether Larry thinks he can squeeze this. Can he squeeze that down the rail and cheat the pocket? Oh, yes, he can. Plenty of room. But look where the cue ball is. Well, again, the escape route is there. Get it thin off the 4 on the left-hand side, as thin as you can, and get distance down the table here. Try and use that 5 and 9. And that will do, although easy enough to jump the 5 and just clip the edge of the 4. Well, going from the kick from this side, he's got a chance of nudging the 6 in. But he's got he's got the next best prize there. That has worked out perfect. And I think Spectre Dawn feels so bad at that, he's actually apologising. Well, Larry is in a whole heap of shit here, as they say. He's got absolutely no chance of hitting that 4 from there. I think you just have a bash and bounce the cue ball and hope it does something. Well, he's scratched. But he'd absolutely an impossible shot there. And what a bonus for Spectre Dawn, because he's now got ball in hand. And remember, Larry should have been 5-2 up. But Larry then went to 5-3, and now Spectre Dawn has a chance to go into the lead. And this is it. Larry just struggled to get the match done in these last few racks. They've all been there for him. He's had his chances, but it just not going. He's not going all the way and getting the job done, and it's just keeping Spectre Dawn in it. And you won't get a better invitation than this to the party. He's going a bit straight in the 7 here, though. Yeah. Trying to draw himself out of trouble. Once again, he's left that awkward angle on this 8. Well, if you're 100% for this, you play a draggy cut shot. You just drag that in and kill the pace on it. But he's using the rails, got the pace, and get the cue ball back into the middle of the table. And that's pretty good. So this to go into the lead. And with the break in rack number 12, Spectre Dawn is needing just one more to send Larry across to that one loss side. But Spectre Dawn is getting no joy, although he's got cover. And I think that 1 passes the 2, so Larry's going to play the jump to pot the 1. And what's he got in the 2? Nothing is the answer to that, unless he wants to try an awkward cutback. Yeah, that was tough. And didn't get any breaks there. He's left with no shot in the 3. Is there a little feather edge of that 3 showing? Yes, there is. But he's brought it out off the rail, and this is like raw meat to a lion. Larry's going to take the bait every day of the week with this one. But can he find a way to get onto this 4 without colliding with something? Because if he does, he's going to have no shot. That needs to slow up. Yeah, Larry's going to have to do it the hard way. He's looking to get back into shape here, and he's going to have to keep looking, because he's left himself a really thin cut in this 4. And that is an excellent shot if it gets there. And this time he's got a bit of luck. He's nudged the 5 down the rail. Can he finish the job this time and take this match all the way? Well, the shot would be to get back up the table and take that 7 into the right middle, and that's what he's done. Now, I don't know what's the angle like. Well, he could just drop through and take the 8 into this middle. If he drops through, well, it's going to have to be long. I think that's gone a lot further than they thought it would. This is not easy. It is not a gimme, this shot. And he sent it to the jaws, and this match is over. And that's what happened there. The pace in that roll through onto that 8 was far too much. Because I think he was wanting to play that into the middle. That would have been the ideal shot. But Larry's chance has gone. And from 5-3 up, Spectre Dawn, or 5-3 down, I should say, Spectre Dawn has won the next 4 racks in a row, and he wins the match by 7 racks to 5. So Spectre Dawn is going to have a little interval. He can take a break. We'll have a look at the bracket. We are 2 hours and 45 minutes into the tournament, and Larry is now going to be playing Stefan in the one lost side final. And meanwhile, that's about to update. There we go. Spectre Dawn is waiting in the final, and he's going to have like maybe 15-20 minutes or so where he can get a cup of tea or something else if he wants, until this match is over. And Stefan, that's again a generous handicap. Stefan is getting the 5 ball. It's not 5 and out. He's getting a 5 ball, but it's only a race to 4. And we've joined it just as Larry is breaking off, so Larry won the lag. I'll have another drink. And remember as well that the final is a race to 9 in Friday Night 9 Ball. So we still might make the 4-hour mark for this tournament. And straight away, Stefan, from the dry break, I think it was from Larry, Stefan has his chance. Now he's going to have to leave himself an awkward 5 ball here. Can he control that cue ball and get it across? Well, it's going to be a thin one. And he has to be careful of the scratch. He's got to get the pace into this 5 ball, so he's going to have to hit it to get it moving. But he needs to watch the cue ball. And he's played it well. And it's 1-0. Oh, and that 5 ball just nudges onto the 6, nudges it in, and look at where the 5 ball's left. And Stefan, can he see enough of that 1 to pot it? I think he can if he just bends it slightly. He's got it now. He's now got the 2-5 for the rack. And how quickly has this worked out for Stefan to give himself a 2 racks to 0 lead? I mean, we've barely been going a minute and it's 2-0. And the 3 ball drops in. And Stefan's got a shot in the 1. Again, it's an awkward one. But if he gets the pace right, he'll be on the 2 ball. And he's played that well. Well, he's not got it right because he's gone square. Oh dear. Well, there's the first unforced error. And Larry has to respond. He's got ball in hand. Well, that 4 ball wiped its feet. Oh dear, Larry. That was a bad one, running straight into the 9. And now, of course, he's got the wrong angle in the 6. He's going to have to run away down the table unless he wants to leave the high cut in the 7. It needs to keep spinning and running, and he's almost got there. And how far off the rail is that? Well, it's far enough. But he has to get this sweet. And he needs to watch the scratch again with this shot. And he's got it square. And if this goes to the end rail, he's going to have an even tougher shot to get the cue ball back down for a shot in the 9. He's not making life easy for himself, I'll say that for Larry. He's doing everything the hard way. And the pace is good. As long as he doesn't land in the knuckle. Oh dear, well that is absolutely unbelievable. I mean, you could not put that in any worse place in the table, and Larry's sitting 2-0 down in a race to 4, and he's staring at 3-0 if he doesn't hit this and he doesn't get lucky. Well, it's Stefan's to throw away here if he doesn't pot this. I don't know what Stefan's saying sorry for. It was Larry's own doing. And Stefan breaks off in rack number 4. The break is dry. Larry's got no shot in the one. He can jump and try and cut the one. And how ambitious does he want to be? Well, he decided to play the push out. Well, Stefan can punch this one around the table and try and tuck the cue ball towards that 9 and 7 if he wants. Oh, he didn't get into that at all. But he's left it safe in the rail, but I would have been hoping to punch that away down the table. And Larry could have him in trouble here as well. But Larry's ran into the 3. And the safety shot's there for Stefan. He's trying to play a shot. He could have cut that one onto the rail and sent it in between those two balls, and then took the cue ball down here. But as it is, Larry can see enough of the one. He's looking at the point to make the combo, and in it goes. And Larry's got himself on the board, but he's at the point of no return. He's got no margin for error. Remember that Stefan has the 5 ball, but Larry's broke, and he's potted the 2, the 4 and the 5 on the break, but he's got no shot on the 3, on the 1. Well, that was, I'm going to say that was the worst shot of the night there by Stefan. That was a really poor shot. And it's gifted Larry a chance. But look at where the 6 ball is. Let's have a look at that. Well, you've got to be good on it to be taken into that middle. Good evening. And Larry, well, can he pot this and not scratch? Yes, he can. That was a better shot than it looked. Always dodgy, those shots. So, this is to see who meets, excuse me, to see who meets Spectre Dawn in tonight's final. And Larry has the angle to get across onto that 9. And this to get back within 1. Larry's break has come up dry. Well, it's basically down to who's going to win the tournament between Larry and Spectre Dawn each week. And then it's down to whether or not these guys can make use of their handicap. Stefan has got himself 3-0 up. He's played a horrible safety shot to give Larry the last rack. And this time Larry has showed Stefan how to play a safety shot. He's got him tight to the 3. If you can see the angle on the rail, he'll have an easy enough kicking the 1. And needs a bit of luck. And he hasn't got it because Larry not only can pot the 1, but if he can brush onto the 7, well, is he trying to draw in behind the 2? He's going to squeeze this past the 7. Oh dear. Well, Larry's finding every way to get himself in bother. And that last rack, he sent the cue ball down the side rail to get on the 9, and he didn't scratch, but he finished locked up behind the knuckle and had no shot to the 9 at all. He's managed to escape with a jump shot, but didn't get the pot. And of course, with Stefan just needing the 5 ball, he's only got the 3 and the 4 to pot. So this match is over. And Stefan is going to be getting probably the 5 ball against Spectre Dawn as well in tonight's final. And in it goes. And so Stefan has beaten Larry by 4 racks to 2. And we'll get confirmation of that. But Larry's in the money. He's won $270. And Stefan, well, that's going to update in a second. Stefan has guaranteed himself at least $405. And the winner tonight will get $805. And the final is a race to 9. And it's between Spectre Dawn and Stefan. And we might as well jump in. And Stefan's always been able to pot a ball. And this 5 ball is a generous handicap. And I don't know who's who in the lag. I think that is Spectre Dawn on the right. The one nearest us, I think his is a brown shaft. A brown butt on his cue. And that's Stefan on the far side. Well, that wasn't exactly the best of lags in the world. But Stefan has definitely won it. And in fact, Stefan isn't getting the 5 ball. He's getting 7 and out. And that is still a generous handicap. And that puts pressure on Spectre Dawn to get the job done. He can't be breaking down late on in the rack. Has he blocked himself out enough? No, he can see the 2. And immediately he's out of shape on this 3 ball. Cue ball's running over towards the 6. And ideally, if he just plays this plain ball, he'll run off the rail and kiss the 6. And he'll leave himself on the 4. That's the plan here. If he just plays it plain ball, well, he's drawn it across to avoid that. But he's landed nicely on the 4. He could have just played it plain ball. The only danger though with playing it with the plain ball is there's a chance of him locking himself up behind the 6. So he took that out of the equation. But now this is the stage where Spectre Dawn cannot afford a mistake. And it's all about getting on that 7 ball. And that will do nicely. But look at where the 9 ball is. There's always that danger in going in the short side of the 9 and finishing behind it near that top rail. How's he got here? Well, it's around the corner. It's all about judging the pace in this shot. If he overhits it, he'll go below the 9. And he's just on it. Any further and he would have been really awkward, but he's still got a cut back. No problem. And it's 1-0. So the tournament has just gone past the 3-hour mark. And we may well finish within the 4 hours tonight. Cue ball is scratched in the break, and this is exactly the situation that Stefan has to get the job done. Now, he's well capable of running these, so he is, as long as he takes his time and thinks about what he's doing. Now, he could just skim behind the 3 here, or he could stun the 2 in and stun across. Well, he's checked it with inside English on the left-hand side, and that's held the cue ball up. Got a slight angle. And now he's just threatening to run out of shape if he doesn't get up the table for this 6. Needs to come out behind the 8 and keep running. And now he's sitting pretty. Just roll the 6 in. And he's got the 7 up towards that right hand corner pocket. So this all came about from the scratch and the break from Spectre Dawn. And Stefan has duly obliged with the invitation to help himself. And he cleared them all up to the 7. And he's broke off in rack number 3. And the 3 ball and the 6 ball have gone. He's got a bank on the 1 if he wants it. And in it goes. And now he's got a 2-7 combo, which is not easy. But again, take your time, line it up. And it threatened. Well, it's definitely going to disappear now. Maybe the pace just kept it out. Oh dear, well that's a disaster and a half there for Spectre Dawn. Because he's taken his eye right off the 2 and handed it back to Stefan. And it's 2-1. And Spectre Dawn maybe just getting a bit too casual with that shot there. And when you get a bit too casual, the balls don't forgive you. That's all I'm saying. That might have a big bearing out on how this match is going to finish up. And Spectre Dawn has now scratched again. And it's ball in hand to Stefan again. The only thing this time is it's not quite as pretty and easy a way to run out to the 7. And he's completely the wrong side of the 2. Now can he cut that in with enough pace to get the cue ball running around the angles? The angles here are perfect as long as he gets the spin on it and the pace. And if it nudges that 5, he's at least got some sort of shot to just nudge the 3 in behind the 6 and clip the 4 and drop it in. Now, why is he looking at a 3-6-4 combo when it was easier to play the other way? And now he's into a blind pocket. But anyway, as long as he gets the job done, he won't be worried. But he's now got himself in a bit of trouble. And he's missed the 3. And Spectre Dawn is going to have to get the cut to give himself a chance to square this match back up. Again, this is not quite simple. Got to get Sweet onto that 7. And I think that he's just another inch or 2 and it'd have been perfect. He's got to cut it in with the pace and run it across the table and back across for the 8. But that is, well, that is fairly tight to the rail. In fact, it's not quite frozen. But in it goes. And where's the cue ball going? Oh, well, he's got a lucky break there. But Spectre Dawn has retrieved it. And we're back all square, 2 racks all. And no joy on the break. Well, he's got distance. It's an easy kick. He just wants to kick this full in the face if he can, just to punch it up the table. Now, there is enough of that showing just to get a little clip off it. He might be able to try and billiard the 7 in here. I don't know whether he's trying that. Yeah, I think that's what he did try, and he's forgot about the 1. See, the 7 would have been a bonus. He should have focused more on the 1 and worried about the 7 later on. And he might pay the price for that. But as long as that 7 ball remains where it is, it's always a danger for Spectre Dawn if he's not careful. Well, he's reversed back to 2 and he's landed on the 3. And now the crucial shot coming to try and break out that 4 ball next to the 8. Well, he's kissed the 6. And that's pretty much ruined the shot there, because it'd have probably hit them a bit better if he hadn't clipped that 6. And he can still thin cut the 4. Well, now it's going to have to be a 5-7 combo, and this is by no means easy. He's looking more like the 5 into the middle, and that's a cracking shot. He's nudged into the 8, and that's pushed him back towards the 6 in the bottom rail. Well, that's a little bit of a tester. Now, what does he do? Does he go at the top right or top left? Top left looks the favourite to me. Little draw off it just to make sure you're not going to scratch anywhere. Perfect. So Spectre Dawn into the lead and looking for a ball in the break and a shot. And he's got nothing doing. No shot for Stefan. Well, he's looking to clip the rail and clip the one, and he's just fouled the 4. And it's ball in hand for Spectre Dawn. Oh dear. Well, there's the rookie shot of the night. The old draw shot straight into the middle pocket. But can Stefan take advantage of it? He's got ball in hand. Now, is he paying attention? Yes, he is. Who was it earlier tonight wasn't paying attention? I'm trying to remember who it was. They obviously weren't looking at the screen. Didn't realise they had ball in hand. Stefan having to get to the 7 ball, including the 7 ball, and it doesn't go past the 9, I don't think. Well, it does when you look at it from there, but it's so tight. If you get any angle on that and any distance on that 7, you're going to really struggle to pot it. So Spectre Dawn isn't out of this rack yet. Stefan's got problems to deal with here. And he's got an angle to run down this left-hand side. If he finishes short, oh, he's going to go square. Is he going to nudge it nice? I think that is not bad. He's got a shot. Now he needs to avoid the scratch. And in it goes. And that will do very nicely indeed. It's back to 3-all. And Stefan gets the 8 ball on the break, the 3 ball on the break, and no shot in the 1. He can reverse bank it though into that right middle. Doesn't get it that side. He should get it left side, and he's played it perfect. And he's got a shot in the 2. And these balls are perfect. It's all about getting on the 4 into that right middle. He just doesn't want to get carried away. The main objective is to stay with Spectre Dawn as deep into the match as he can to give himself a chance. So he's just steadying the ship, having a wee look at where the 6 is. And this is the one that can go wrong, because he's dead straight in the 6, so the obvious thing is he's going to come back here. He's going to have to play the draw shot, and he can hang it up like that. I mean, how many times do we see that in Friday Night 9-ball? Whenever you're on a straight shot at distance, and you have to get that power, as soon as it hits that knuckle, it's going to hang up. It does it every time. And it's the pace of the shot that keeps it out. And Stefan's chance in this rack has all but diminished with that one shot. And digging down to play that draw shot, you can easily put spin onto the cue ball that just sends it offline, and the pace will always keep that object ball out the pocket. And so with a chance to go into the lead, Stefan finds himself now trailing by 4 racks to 3. Spectre Dawn, meanwhile, cannot buy a ball in the break. And immediately, Stefan has a shot. But look at where the 2-ball is. Top end of the table. He's got it. And the other thing is, he can only see the top half of the cue ball. Well, he's trying to play some sort of draw shot at that distance, and all he's done is spun the cue ball and hit it offline. And that was just a poor shot. And with ball in hand, Spectre Dawn can get the draw. Oh, again, that was poor. Look at the area that he had to get that cue ball into. That area there was where he had to work with, and he didn't get there. Not a good shot. But once again, Stefan has a chance. He's on the 3. He doesn't need to do anything with the cue ball other than pot the 2. And I think he's done his best to try and hook himself behind the 9, but he's okay. And now he's just gone a wee bit further than he would have liked on this 4. And that was the problem, avoiding the collision with 8. And now the tester. And he's played that well. Just needs one more good shot to get that cue ball out into the table. And this time he's got there. And he's going to be all square. And the pressure always starts to mount on the higher rated player, the deeper you get into the match, as long as you stay with him. But Stefan has found a way to pot some balls in the break. And unfortunately one of them was the cue ball. So immediately Spectre Dawn has ball in hand and a chance to redeem himself. And he's just looking at how he wants to run this table. So the 1 onto the 6, and both balls have dropped, and that's worked out nice. Again, this is a little stun shot. Get the cue ball out into the table. This is not ideal. Again, he's playing with a bit more angle than he really needed here. So it's all about controlling the pace. And that is not ideal either, because again, he's going to have to work the cue ball to get himself a decent shot in the 9. And he's played it with inside English to check it up. Bring it back towards the rail. And he'll get this 9 ball every day of the week. So this to go into the lead again. Well, what he wouldn't give for a ball in the break and a shot to try and open up the gap. Well, the 3 ball threatened, and it's finally dropped at the last second. Just enough momentum in it to take it into the pocket. But Spectre Dawn has not got any real great shot in the 1. And that's the ball to be worried about if you're Spectre Dawn. That's 7 ball. Oh, and he's picked out a cracking shot in the 1. He's going to have to play a good one on this too. He's hampered over the 9. Or is he going to try and cheat it in past the 7? Well, he didn't even need to do that. He got it sweet. Got it flush. But he's hung the 4. So the mistake has been made. It's now up to Stefan to complete the punishment and get this 4, the 5, and find himself onto that 6 ball, because the 6 ball is what's going to make or break the rack for him. And he's a bit short in the 5. And that's pretty good. But this is, oh, that's not good. That is really tight. He's just got to drop it in, and he has done. And Stefan has stolen one there. And it's going to be back to 5 racks all. And now it's Stefan's turn, breaking off in rack number 11. Nothing doing in a break. Spectre Dawn trying to catch the edge of the 1 to knock it in. But look what's happened here. And this could be a disaster. He's nudged the 9 over the bottom right hand corner pocket. Now, can Stefan see enough of that 1 to actually make the potting angle? Well, he probably could, but was that a foul? No, it wasn't. But he's got away with it. Well, Stefan could have a go at the bank. It is not dead set, this bank, but he's trying to get cover behind the 2, I think it is. Let's have a look. Well, this will be a good jump if he tries to jump that too. And I don't think he can play the billiard onto the 9, even if he could. Because the 9 will just go to the rail. The 9's too far up the table to play a billiard onto the 9 and pot it. Well, he's got the hit and he's got it safe. And Stefan, he's going to kick behind that, but if he doesn't play this right, he's going to scratch. And that's okay. Now, is Spectre Dawn going to try and play the pot onto the 8? No, he isn't. Well, that's a total mess up. He hasn't got to the rail, and he's given Stefan ball in hand. But Stefan is going to have to do it the hard way. He's going to have to get from the 1 to the 2. If he does that, he's okay, because the 3's over the left middle pocket. Now, does that 2 comfortably go past the 5? Yes, it does. And that is perfect on the 3 to drop down onto the 4. And then from the 4, he can get out into the table for the 5. And the problem ball is the 7 over towards that right rail. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Well, he can't afford to be doing that. He's hung the 4. And Spectre Dawn can just come off the rail, clip the 4, and the angle now takes him nicely down onto the 5. And again, in the blink of an eye, with a chance of winning the rack and taking the lead, it goes as quick as that. And Spectre Dawn, though, once again has made the unforced error on the 5. And Stefan can either cut this or bank it. Looks as if he's going for the cut. I played it well, but the cue ball's running. It's going to finish behind the 9. Oh, that's a bonus. Round the jaws and out. At least he can see the 6. It's not easy. And now the 7's off the rail. It's there for the taking. And he's dropped the 6 in very nicely indeed. And so eventually, through the unforced error from Spectre Dawn, Stefan has pinched a rack. And he definitely does go into the lead. Oh, cue ball thought about scratching, but nothing else has gone down. But Spectre Dawn has no shot. Oh, he's playing the push out, but that is not a good shot because Stefan is just going to bury him behind the 7. That's just asking for trouble, but Stefan's hit it too hard. And it's an easy escape for Spectre Dawn, just out with the jump stick, simply because the cue ball isn't tight enough towards the 7. He's trying to get in behind the 6, and that's not a bad effort, although he has left a pot. And we are just about a minute or so short of the 3.5 hours for tonight's tournament. And Spectre Dawn was using the 9 ball as a stopper. Had it gone in, it would have been a bonus, but he was more concerned about getting that cue ball up the table as far away from the 1 as he could, and also looking for cover, and he's almost got it. Oh dear, I thought that was going to nudge the 9 in there. But Stefan hasn't got the 1 save. Spectre Dawn's immediate problem is landing on the 2. And it's going to have to be the 2-6 combo. And provided the 2 doesn't escape, is then going to be the 3-9 combo down the left rail towards us. And it goes. And we are back all square at 6 racks all into rack number 13. Spectre Dawn desperate for a ball in the break and a shot, and hasn't got it. And his luck hasn't changed, other than the fact he's left Stefan locked behind the 8. Oh no, that's the 9 ball. I thought that was a cue ball. I'm beginning to get tired, folks. I don't think he's gone far enough. No, just looking to hide the cue ball. He's managed to get the 2 ball far enough. The Spectre Dawn can roll the 2 through and try and finish behind the 4, the 5 and the 6, but again it's not tight enough anywhere. Although he's got cover, it's not difficult to hit. And Stefan wants to hit that full in the face, but he's actually got the double kiss. And now Spectre Dawn has his first shot in the 2, but look at where the 8 and 9 are. They're locked up. How's that look, that 8 ball? Well, that 8 ball goes provided you're sitting good on it. And the 8 and 9 aren't a combo or anything like that. So a draw back up the table or back down the table towards us with a little bit of help and spin. And how's Spectre Dawn going to deal with this 8 ball? Well, he's finished exactly where you have to be to try and make the pot. And that looked legal enough to me. Yeah, I think Spectre Dawn is getting a bit fatigued. I mean, both of these guys have been in, obviously, from the start, and I think tiredness is setting in. He had a second look at that 9 ball there. And I've got every sympathy because, you know, depending whether you're doing a daytime job and it's getting to that time of night, fatigue does set in. No matter how much you're focused, the old brain starts to shut down. I know mine does. Mine is at the moment. And that's exactly what you can put that down to. So Stefan has the 1 rack lead. Spectre Dawn has played some sort of billiard shot there. I don't know whether it was planned or not, but he's left everything safe. And look at where the danger ball is again. There it is there. That 7 ball is in a nasty spot there. And if that 5 clips it in like that, all of a sudden, there's a 2 rack gap. And Stefan's apologising. It's always likely something like that can happen. Well, a couple of balls have gone in the break. What a bonus now for Stefan. Yeah, that just looked like a really tired shot by Spectre Dawn. And Stefan now with a gilt-edged chance to get this match over as long as he can draw up and get a shot in the 6. He should be home and dry. Well, he's gone forward, but that's worked out just as well. And surely this match is done. He's got a nice little angle, just a little stunny draw shot. Well, he's gone far too much here. He's making it as difficult as he can. But a little cut back and watch the cue ball. And in goes the 7. And the tournament has lasted 3 hours and 35 minutes. But tonight's winner of Friday night 9 ball is Stefan. And he beats Spectre Dawn with a 7 and out handicap. And he wins by 9 racks to 6. So we will have a quick look at the final layout of the bracket. And we'll see that Stefan, as we mentioned earlier, he wins $805 V. The runner-up, Spectre Dawn, gets 400. Where the hell are we? Third place, Larry gets 270. And fourth place, Houdini, gets 200. And with that, folks, it is all over for this week. And I'm back at work on Monday, and I'll be and again next weekend, or the end of next week, I think it is, and over the weekend I am up at 2 a.m. in the morning, so there will be no Friday night 9 ball next week, I can assure you. I'll be long gone before that. So because we're getting to the Christmas time, and instead of starting at 6 o'clock, I start at 4 o'clock in the morning, so I have to be out my bed at 2 o'clock in the morning, and there'll be no Friday night. There might not be one now till after the new year, now that I'm thinking of it. But until then, if that's the case, an early Merry Christmas to you if you're still watching. But until we meet again, I will bid you good night, and we'll see you again soon.